tomorrow. I mean, we can leave it like this. It's perfectly fine. I have an idea. Let's leave it like this.
Okay. She has an idea.
We're gonna move that table,
Okay.
and then we can shift, and so we should be fine, or vice versa. But we'll.
Stop having ideas.
I know, they're dangerous.
Who gave you permission to have ideas?
Seniority. Even with the shade down, the sun is like right in my face. Oh, paper, yeah. There, if you go into the sanctuary and you look up, there's some windows actually up there, and those are actually blocked off. There you go. Yeah, my parents, when they started looking a little for synagogues, they went to a conservative synagogue. It was during the High Holy Days, and they all stood up and they offered their pledges. And my dad said, if said to my mom, if you want to go here, that's perfectly fine, but I'll never step foot in your church.
Because they charge for the seats.
They didn't necessarily charge for seats, but they asked people to give their pledge,
Oh.
like in service. That's what they used to do.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I went to see her this morning.
Is this on? Chris, is the microphone on? I can't hear it. Can you hear the microphone? Thanks, Diane. Testing 1, 2, 3. You can hear it? Okay. Can you guys hear it? Okay. This is your DJ, Rabbi PJ, the DJ. We are live on location. Oh, lovely.
No, according to the Rolling Hillies, we were celebrating Green Day. And if you were me, you were celebrating Michigan State Day, which is green and white. I know.
I told. Yep.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת כולם גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's see if I can do this. Shabbat Shalom from the Shire. Shire. I can almost do it. I tried to do an Irish accent. Diane has demonstrated the ability to be honest, so thank you.
Don't worry, we all missed it.
We all missed it too, yeah. But you know what we didn't miss?
But
Shabbat.
we did not.
Shabbat Shalom, and we are here together, and we are going to celebrate Shabbat with melodies, with love, with belonging, with community. We're going to start with Ki Yishmerecha Shabbat, page 129, blue bracket in numbers.
Ki
Yishmerecha
Yishmerecha
Shabbat,
El Yishmereni. Ki Yishmerecha Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti leomean beino uveni. Oti leomean beino uveni. Ki Yishmerecha Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Yishmerecha Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti leomean beino uveni. Oti leomean beino uveni.
Not only do we have the sun shining upon us and feeling the sun's warmth, we're about to feel the warmth from our Shabbat candles as we welcome in Shabbat with the candle blessings. I'd like to invite up Madeline and Magnolia Siegel to come up and light our candles, page 120, 121.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We transition to Kabbalat Shabbat, songs of welcoming Shabbat, songs from the Psalms, beginning with Psalm 95, Lechuna Ranana, page 130.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya litzur yishenu nekadma fanam betoda bizmirot nariya lo. Page 131.
Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Sapru v'gayim, Kevodo, Bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ozaru letzadik ul yishrei lev simcha, light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you righteous, rejoice in Adonai and acclaim God's holy name. Mizmor shiru Adonai shir chadash ki niflaot hazah. A song, sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. Page 134, Zamru Adonai.
Zamru Adonai? Very much so. Zamru Adonai Bechinot Bechinot V'kol zimra. 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 Zamru Adonai Bechinot Bechinot V'kol zimra.
We continue Psalm 29. Mizmor LeDavid.
b'nei Elim. Mizmor LeDavid. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Let's try that all together. Mizmor LeDavid. Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim. Mizmor LeDavid. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo. Yai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Page 137. Adonai oz. Le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai oz. Le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Adonai oz. Le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai oz. Le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
As we turn to L'Chadodi, we are reminded that this is an acrostic melody that leads us to welcoming both aspects of God, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's on Shabbat in which God becomes one and we become one with God. We continue on page 138, 139. We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9.
And again, those are the blue bracketed numbers. If you're struggling to find the page, it is on the blue bracketed numbers.
Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Adodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zacho b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet v'litila.
Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Likrat Shabbat le'uven elcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mekedem nesucha, sof mahaseh b'machshavat hila. Lecha
Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Adodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Hitoreri, Ki va'orech kumi uri, 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 shidaberi, kevod Adonai alaich nigla. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנת העיר אל תהילה. לך
דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise as we face the entrance of our sanctuary.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך
דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Now that we have greeted the Shabbat bride, let's take a moment to greet each other. We come back together.
We invite you to be seated.
We invite you to be seated. We come back together for one last song for Shabbat. Psalm 92, page 140.
מזמור מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. 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 מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת.
We transition from Kabbalah to Shabbat to Shema Uvrotecha, Shema and its blessings. Hatzi Kaddish, page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי,
בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. Please rise.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Page 149, join with me. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta,
Amcha ahavta.
Torah u'mitzvot, ukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadita, Otanu limadita. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha
Le'olam va'ed.
Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Top of page 157 together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt.
That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Micha Mocha, page 158.
La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora
Tehilot
oseh
Felem
Nora
Tehilot
oseh
Felem
Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה ליאנו ואמרו, זה ליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש,
מי כמוך
באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא
תהילות
עושה,
פלא
נורא
תהילות
עושה,
פלא
אדוני ימלוך לעולם
ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Page 160. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Vishamru, page 162.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. We connect ourselves to generations past with the Amidah. We say those first words together on page 164 and then continue silently until page 180. Please rise.
Yalalai,
Lai, lai,
lalai,
yalalai, lai, lai.
lalai,
Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalalai, lalai, 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 yalalai, lalai.
Yehiyu liratzoni mrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzori v'goeli. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
We take a moment in our service to turn our thoughts to those loved ones in need of healing, of body, of mind, of spirit. As my eyes meet yours, I invite you to share the name of that loved one aloud or within your hearts.
Richard Kennemer, Bruce Roberts, Stuart Mass, Alfreda Mastman, Diane Siegel, Jill Becker, Gail Frankel, Scott Van Gundy, Daphna Talmor, Mira Engel, Gerald Marks, Dave Stahl, Greg Herb, Murray Siegel, Maggie Scardigli, Ron Victor, Laura Sternberg, Cindy Gordon, Richard Ravitch, former member of Shir Hadash, Bernice Paris, mother of Carol Paris, Franklin Wolfson, son-in-law of Susan Deniston. The Mishabberach is found on page 371.
Mi
Sheberach
Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei hakol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals the sick. So I ask you to bear with me. I have something caught in my throat, and I just can't get it out. I'm going to blame Alan Maybrook. Thank you for your service. So this week is a double Torah portion, which is, anybody know? 37 points for Cantor. Cheater. Fine, 36. It's more of a Jewish number. It marks the conclusion of the book of... You all get 100 points. Exodus is our story of redemption and the construction of the Mishkan, the portable dwelling place for God. Now the portion begins with Moses assembling the people of Israel with instructions related to the building of the Mishkan, continuing the narrative that was introduced in the previous chapters of Exodus. Now suddenly, and perhaps first glance abruptly, Moses seemingly breaks from his thought to provide a reminder about Shabbat. Within the text it says, 6 days work may be done, and on the seventh day shall be holy for you, a Shabbat, a day of complete rest for God. Whoever does work on that day shall be put to death. You shall kindle no fire in any of your dwellings on the Shabbat day. Now, even though this mention may seem arbitrary, it's Rashi, our good old friend Rashi, who emphasizes that Moses prefaced the commandments concerning the work of the Mishkan with a warning about Shabbat, to convey that the work of the Mishkan does not supersede Shabbat. In other words, Shabbat, the day for remembering God's creation, for resting from work, is so important that even the holy work of building the place, the Mishkan, that dwelling place for God, must stop. Furthermore, the juxtaposition of Shabbat and the Mishkan, both in this week's Parsha and last week's Parsha, serves to clarify or elucidate the laws of Shabbat. Because what we learn is that it is those activities necessary for building or running the Mishkan that specifically define what is prohibited as work on Shabbat. Now the truth is that the building of the tabernacle and the celebration of Shabbat are braided together. When fully built, the sanctuary while actual and real, physical and objective, is also alive with the spiritual. In Shabbat, this day of rest and inner devotion is nevertheless replete with the physical. We have meals that are special. We have blessings. We have a real sense of physical and palpable rejuvenation. Both the tabernacle and Shabbat near one another, but they actually exist within each other. So perhaps the rules of Shabbat serve as a preamble to the actual construction of the Mishkan. Now, many of us know that Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel's most famous book is entitled what? That's true. Starts with the and ends with the Sabbath. The Sabbath. The other book, the other famous book. And within it, he talked about Shabbat as a palace in time. He sees the entwining of the biblical texts on Shabbat and the Mishkan and understands that sacralizing time is much more important than sanctifying space. The pattern of 6 days of work, which are followed by Shabbat, when all work should be avoided, is a deliberate resonance with the creation of the world found in the book of Genesis. So Shabbat is the culmination of creation, a weekly reminder to us of our purpose in the world. And it's Heschel that reminds us that the meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. Because 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space, and on Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It's a day that we are called upon to share what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Now, sanctifying time over place is the real innovation when we come and experience worshiping and connecting with God. Along with its lack of physical dimension, time is universal. Because remember, time belongs to everybody, except those who created daylight savings time. Unlike buildings or land, nobody can claim that the day belongs to them alone. Nobody can claim ownership of time. And the sanctification of time does something else. Because Heschel also taught, Judaism is a religion of time aiming at the sanctification of time. There are no 2 hours alike. Every hour is unique, and the only one given at the moment exclusive and endlessly precious. So friends, to live a life of holiness requires Shabbat observance. In her book, Torah Journeys, Rabbi Shefa Gold reflects, when Moses calls the people together for their final instructions for building the Mishkan, we're first warned that there must be a holy rhythm to our lives. Because without the practice of Shabbat, the work of building the Mishkan, even though it is holy work, will kill us. Because work becomes life-giving and wholesome only when it is balanced with rest. Now, because of the recent passing of Tevye himself, Chaim Topol, I'm quickly reminded of that poignant moment in Fiddler on the Roof when Tevye and Goldie were blessing their children on Shabbat and singing the Sabbath prayer. Amidst Tevye struggling with the tensions of tradition and modernity, being concerned with his own financial security, shaping a future for his daughters, the musical beautifully portrays how Shabbat takes precedence over work. And it talks about, it invites us to think about hopes and dreams. And we know that the lyrics to the Sabbath prayer We're inspired by the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction, the Birkat Yeladim, the children's blessing. These blessings that we recite on Shabbat to make time sacred. And the blessings themselves progress from the blessing of physical protection through the blessing of shelter to the blessing of shalom, wholeness, completion, and peace. Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Berlin picks up on the fact that when we say these blessings, even though they're recited over a whole people, traditionally they are stated in the second person singular. And the reason why is it interprets that each person be granted blessings specific to them. Our divine blessing is not just generic, but it's specific to each of us, specific to our needs, our dreams, and our hopes. So Shabbat is our opportunity to share our individual hopes and dreams. Because to be blessed doesn't mean that these hopes and dreams will come to fruition immediately. To be blessed gives us the strength to do the work. So too, perhaps the commandment to observe Shabbat in our portion is one that tells us Shabbat is the opportunity to become more whole. In doing so, you're able to do the sacred work to build a sanctuary for God. So on this Shabbat, may God bless you and keep you. May we be granted the strength to be our best selves and feel comforted by those who can lift us up. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. May we see the divine within ourselves and be gentle with ourselves. And may we look to our ancestors for guidance. May God look upon us and grant us peace. And may we truly see each other, finding a sense of peace and wholeness, to which we say, Shabbat Shalom and Amen.
We're going to continue with the Aleinu on page 587, and I think, is Magnolia still here? No, is Madeline still here? Next door. Okay. So
Okay.
we invite you all to rise. I was going to invite her to open the ark. So they're not that young anymore. They're no longer children in the legal sense of the word.
No longer children in the legal sense of the word.
עלינו לשבח באדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
If you are in the first 7 days of mourning Shiva, I invite you to rise and share with us who you are remembering on the Shabbat. If you are in the first 30 days of mourning Shloshim, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you are in a cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you have a yard site this week, an anniversary of somebody's passing, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. Show. The congregation offers its condolences to Nava Bernstein on the death of her mother, Varda Satchi, and to Philip Schenker and Emily Kuritz on the death of his mother and her grandmother. We remember those loved ones on this Shabbat. Rabbi Tlalit Shavit, Jack Long, Virginia Larson, Miriam Maurer, Bob Sturman, Lenora Wang, Adam Richard Spilka, Solomon Shlomo Iseps, Howard Levine, Barbara Lombard, Claire London, Drago Herman, Earl Greenwald, Samuel Grinwald, Anita Kamula, Bryce Lyon, Edna Stone, Miriam Davis, Lauren Janovich, Janet Wool, Charlene Kilgore, Ezra Sati Satchi, Gideon Hoffer, Alvin Kramer Siegel, Vlasta Vininovich, Galina Butarina, Karen Imbalzano, Lillian Berman, Robert Bruce Myers, Abraham Karras, Scott Safadi, Norman Green, Marilyn Silverman, Leslie Heinel, David Green, Jeannie Porish, Estelle Abrams, Spencer Caney, Arthur Cherdak, John Ivers, Marilyn Handelman, Kay Damron, Nira Morone, Andrea Cameron, Ziba Feruzin, Rosella Newton, Linda Sherry, Fred DeCastro, Sherry Skian, Larry Eisen, Harry Gross, Michael Taub, Ben Fishman, Bert Cass, Beth Carey, Bert Jacknow, Clarence Muirhead, Dennis Richardson, Dina Levy, Esther Siegel, Florence Stein, Harold J. Siegel, Harry Fabe, Larry Marks, Laura Dovick, Lonnie Bernardo, Natalie Polk, and Paul Leiter. And now you can support our community by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts. For Kaddish Avilim, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye techol Beit Israel. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru Amen.
May the memories of all your dear ones always be a blessing in your life, and to all of your loved ones. Yehi zechram baruch, we say. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
It's my pleasure to invite up Jody Muirhead, our president-elect, who will begin her term on July 1st, to share with us some announcements. You can actually take it off if you want to.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is. I think it is. Yeah. And for those who are celebrating, happy St. Patrick's Day. There we go. Yom Ha St. Patrick. I'm just going to highlight a few announcements, but you can see all of them on the back of your handout, and you can find all events on our website calendar. So coming up tomorrow at 9:30 a.m., Torah study here in the chapel, followed by Shabbat morning services at 10:30.
We're actually going to be doing Torah study in the library.
Torah study in the library. Shabbat morning services in here, in the chapel?
Shabbat morning services in the chapel.
Okay. Sunday, March 19th at 9 a.m., the Shir Hadash cycling group will go for a monthly no drops ride. Tuesday, March 21st at 7 p.m., author Daniel Sokach is coming back. He got rained out last time, so he's coming back to visit Shir Hadash for an author talk about his book about Israel. It should be very interesting, especially with all that's going on right now. So please register on our website. I hope you can make it. On Wednesday, March 22nd at 7:30 p.m., Men's Club will have a bocce ball event. Thursday, March 23rd at 11:30 a.m., the last in the series of the Nashim Remarkable Jewish Women Lecture. So hope you can join us for this last one. And coming up soon, Thursday, April 6th at 5 p.m., second night Seder. Which means I guess the 5th would be our first night.
Yes, the 5th is the first night. The 6th is the second night Seder. You can
Here.
already register on our website, and should be a wonderful Seder. And it also means that you need to start buying your Passover food if you haven't started doing so already.
Matzah has been in the store since Purim.
I think even before that.
Since
Purim.
since Hanukkah.
Since
Since
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, yes.
Yes, since Hanukkah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
please register for the Seder on our website by March 31st. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to continue with Kiddush. You can follow along in the prayer book on page 122. And as Jerry works his way up to help lead us in Kiddush, I will first do Vayechulu. So come on up. Take the... ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. אתה אדוני
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri
We're going to
hagafen.
invite you to rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו
ורצבנו
ושבת
שושו,
קודשו
באהבה וברצון הנהילנו.
זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא
קודש,
זכר ליציאת
מצרים.
כי
בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון,
הנחלתנו.
ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen. Achaim. We talked about blessings in my sermon. We're going to do our blessings, and our closing song is going to also sound very familiar for those blessings. Yasimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim u'Menashe, Yasimech Elohim ke'Sara ke'Rivka, ke'Rachel u'Leah. Yivarechecha Adonai yishmarecha, Yer Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. The chorus is easy. Shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. V'yasem lechem shalom, shalom.
וישם לך שלום. יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. שלום, שלום, וישם לך שלום, 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 וישם לכם שלום, 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 שלום.
Shabbat Shalom. So please come join us in the foyer. We'll say have a quick motzi.
Which one?
Thank you for the anniversary wishes and for checking on us.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't know what I did because it wasn't like
I only checked because she told me you were going to be here. No, I have another one, just to be on safe. And there's a lot of mistakes in this. Connor did it for the first time. And I didn't, I proofed the top part. I didn't proof the rest of it because I thought, because Shratta had fixed it. So I have to, I'll